Welcome to the Confessions of a Group X Instructor podcast. For group exercise junkies and enthusiastic classgoers, we'll explore and uncover authentic, thought-provoking, and heartwarming industry education and inspiration from entertaining, badass fitness pros. And now your host, creator of Warrior Rhythm, Warrior Strength, Warrior Combat, Warrior Revolution, and Warrior Kids Group fitness brands, Ellen DeWord. Here we grow.
I'm with it.
Welcome everybody to my podcast today with my best friend in the whole entire world. Hi, Diva.
Yeah.
I mean, I started this show in 2023 and this is the first time you're coming on. What the hell?
Bruh, I had stuff to do and then we could never do it. Like right now, it's what, 10 o'clock at night?
I know it's like hours past your bedtime.
I know, but I'm a good friend, so I'm gonna do it now.
You are the best, actually. So, everybody, this is my unexpected, out of thin air best friend. And this is Diva Richards. And we actually are, we work together. We're partners.
We do.
Stuff. So, okay, this is kind of fun for the audience's benefit. Every time I lead a podcast, like a professional, I set it up in advance. You know how I'm like type A. So I send everybody this beautiful email with like, thank you for coming on the show. And here's a confirmation of the date and time. And I put the cute little emoji of the podcast mic. And I put the link to join and the title of the episode. And then the questions I'm going to be asking them centered around their topic. And I talk to them about all the things so that they show up prepared and ready. So this episode is so perfect for you and who you are. She doesn't know a thing. Like, she doesn't know anything I'm going to ask her. I didn't send her a confirmation email. I'm just like, can you podcast tonight? She doesn't even know the topic.
Nope.
So, all right, I'm just going to like bombard you with questions. How much time do I get with you?
I don't know. You know it's past my bedtime.
All right,
let's do like I could do 30 minutes
all
and
right.
then I gotta go to sleep.
All right. Tell them the story about how we met.
Am I allowed to curse on this? Is not one of them cursing podcasts.
Yeah, you can curse.
Okay, cool. So we were at CW Mania, and I'm trying to think.
San Francisco.
2-part. It was San Francisco. 2 parts. So first part is I was presenting something. I don't know what I was talking about. I was talking about something, and I'm walking around and I see these girls at this table. And I just asked them, I was like, what are y'all doing? Like, who are you guys? And they're like, oh, we're Warrior, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Warrior? And I was like, where y'all from? They were like, Oregon. And I was like, who the fuck is from Oregon? I was like, nobody lives in Oregon. They're like, people live in Portland. I was like, Portland's in Oregon? I was like, dude. I was like, nobody's in Oregon. I was like, whatever. And so I started joking with the girls. Anyway, I go to walk to my panel, and then Ellen, I saw her kind of walking around the conference center. I didn't know who she was, but we wound up being on this panel together. And you know, I'm popping my shit. This is gonna be a different podcast. If you're our audience, just know this is how it goes down. So I'm popping my thing. I'm talking, yada yada yada. And then Sarah says, she starts talking about being different and standing out, and blah, blah, blah. And of course, I'm up there. I'm like, yeah, you know, half shaved head, neck tattoos, half sleeves. I get it. We're different. And then she proceeds to say, Ellen, take your jacket off. And I'm like, who the hell is Ellen? So I turn and she's sitting next to me and she's all zipped up. Now, I'm going to tell you something about her. Until she's like naked or half naked, you don't know she got tattoos. You don't know. So I'm sitting there thinking, you know, Sarah talking about me. Then Ellen takes off her jacket and I'm like, what the hell? Like, it was so many tattoos that I usually wear my like blazer with my sleeves up. I had to pull my sleeves down because I realized I was not the top tattoo dog anymore. And I just looked at her and I was like, all right, kid. I was just like that. I was like, all right, kid. And then after that, we just were inseparable.
We are. Well, first of all, you had met me before the panel. You just didn't remember meeting me.
Probably because you were zipped up.
I was zipped up. I like to be zipped up. I like the shock value. I like to shock people. And also I don't want to be judged. And people like will judge like a heavily tattooed woman, you know? And so
well, I judged you because you had on a jacket and you didn't stand out to me. If you would have been walking around without the jacket, I would have remembered. But you was walking around with a jacket. So I was like, another fitness chick. Like I really wasn't paying it no mind.
I do actually look. Oh, here comes Chicklet. Okay. I do
Chicklet.
actually look. I mean, a lot of the audience knows what I look like, but not everybody, because we have people from all over the world and so many countries tuning in. So I do look unusual because I have this bodysuit tattoo. And we're going to talk about that on Diva's podcast at some point if we ever carve out the
we
song.
are. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
But yeah, I look pretty basic when I'm, I look pretty basic. So I like the shock value thing. I like to step into a room or on a stage or in front of a classroom and look like a normal girl. And then when it's time to work out, zip, layers come off. And it's like, yeah, I look a little like an alien. But yeah, so that was hysterical. So then
No,
what?
it was.
So, okay, we don't have tons of time, I know, because I have so many questions for you, but let's give the audience a little more context. So then, because I do want to talk about combat. A spoiler, Diva, co-creator of Warrior Combat. She does all the sexy stuff that makes that brand come to life. And I do all the nitty-gritty, boring, mind-numbingly tedious stuff that makes the brand come to life.
Oh my God.
She is the face of and a former Golden Glove boxer. And so it's been really fun to collaborate on that program, which is in its third year right now. So let's back up. So I at that time, I think we just had, at that time when I met you in San Francisco, we just had rhythm and strength. And so then what happened, and I get these details blurry, but we were on that circuit. So we would see each other periodically every month or two or three, not three, every like couple months.
Yeah.
And the people that were drawn to me at these conferences and sessions, the Warrior Girls, the family of instructors that I was building and developing, they were 100% of the time. It didn't even matter which city and which warriors. So it was interesting, but they would always want to go to your sessions. And the reason behind that is because a lot of the warrior instructors were, and this fits actually a lot of my podcasts lately, the ones with Cam, the one I did about Girl Move On, about formats, like a lot of the Beachbody instructors out there were finding Warrior as a solution to their programming that had been lost. So they were looking for something to fill the void of either Turbo Kick or Core de Force. That's why they were drawn to you, because they needed something new for their kickboxing life. And so, this is interesting too. I was interested in starting a podcast. Like I wanted to
I remember that.
So we ended up having well, I saw you all the time. We would sit at these presenter parties and stuff. And then I wanted to pick your brain. And I don't know whether we were in Chicago or Boston. It all blurs together, or both. Dallas, but started to have conversations about Diva creating her own fitness format and me helping her do so. This had nothing to do with Warrior. This was just me being willing to help this amazing human being that I was friends with, that I really respected, seeing that she had, like, sometimes people ask me like about marketing and like, how do you know if you have have a product, or how do you know when the timing is right? Well, if you have something that people need, the answer is yes. So she had something that people needed and wanted, and I saw that, and I just wanted to help her connect those dots so she could, start making money and start doing something really fulfilling in that area. Like, meanwhile, okay, I should also say this about her, because this relates to how like night and day opposite we are. She's like a jazz. In my mind, I think of you as like I've told you this recently, an improv jazz musician. She gets on a stage, she can hear a song, and she can perfectly teach to it without ever having heard it before. Balanced reps, balanced movements, right and left body, even if the song is not. I mean, it's like this uncanny, like no one's as gifted as you, and no one is as gifted as you.
You are the best.
No, you're a prodigy. You're a prodigy. So anyway, so these girls, I say girls, these are amazing instructors. I call them the warrior girls. They're grown-ass women, but I call them girls. And they call us mom and dad. But
yes, they do.
Were like, they wanted to teach what she was doing. And she's like, what? Like I just I was just teaching. Like
I just showed up. I rolled out of bed. I put on some music.
They were like, how do I teach that? So I know in Dallas, we had like 30 girls at a dinner table, because I do team dinners. Diva's this lone wolf. She doesn't like to hang out or socialize.
I don't like team dinners.
Doesn't want to be podcasting right now, I'm quite sure. But anyway, and we're like sitting at the table, and like everyone in Dallas, Texas, 30 girls, and they're like, please, I want to teach what you taught today. So it really truly started our professional relationship, honestly started with me altruistically being willing to donate some time to help show her some of these like crazy hurdles and steps that I had recently learned to navigate in launching my own programs. It's not easy. There's a lot of shit to go through to launch your own programs. And I had just kind of figured out all the pieces of how to do it. So I'm like, I've done it. It's not easy, but I know the steps. I'll help you. So then I think we met like 6 weeks, 8 weeks, I don't even know, later in another city.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's explore this further. Also, I'm like, and I want you to teach me how to podcast, because I really didn't know how to do it. So that's kind of how we started talking. And then I think it was your idea to come under the warrior umbrella.
It was. And the reason being, the more we talked about it, and I know how my brain works, and you now know how my brain works, I wouldn't have been able to do it by myself.
No.
Like, I don't have I'm not detail oriented in that way. And if people have never created a program, I don't know if they'll ever understand the level of detail and work that goes into it. Like, I'm used to showing up and doing the thing, and you're like, okay, Diva, that's great, but now because you're creating a program, you need to break down the thing, you need to explain the thing. You can't just show up and do the thing. You have to create it so other people can teach what's in your brain. And I'll say the first year of us working together, that was the hardest thing, was getting the stuff in my brain out and making sure we made it work. You know what I mean? It was hard. It was challenging.
I remember when we first started, you wanted to call the things, the moves, by their numbers. And I was like,
yes,
that's not going to work for general population. I remember you wanted to, because the box, the punches and have.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, just call it this. You're like, no, we can't do it that way. But that's the thing. You showed me how to do it in a fitness way, which was cool.
So actually, you're kind of leading into, even though you don't know where I'm going and what my questions are, you're actually kind of leading right into the web of the spider. No, so really, truly, I want to talk about like the unusual partnership that we have and how and why it works. And part of that, I think relates to how unbelievably different we are. I think there's a lot of facets to why you and I work so well. I was very afraid. So Diva tells me that, or one day calls. I don't even think we were in the habit of talking at the time. I don't think us talking on the phone was a thing yet. Even
Yeah.
now we just talk all the time, even if we don't talk and I'm just working and you're on the other end of the phone and you're working. But I think you called and we're like, what if we put it under the Warrior umbrella? And
Yeah.
I had these dual conflicting emotions. One, I was like, heck yes, that makes my like arsenal of group exercise programs so much more appealing. To have a kickboxing program, kickboxing is not in my wheelhouse. It's not. It's something I can train to be good at and have been working very hard at, as you know, but it's
It
not like
looks
natural for me.
you're
So
doing it now,
thank
so it
you.
works.
Thank
You
you.
are. You
Put in
look
the
good
work
now.
and the reps. But so part of me was like really excited, like, whoa, this can really enhance my offerings for clubs and instructors. And part of me was terrified. Like, the truth is, I didn't know you. I didn't trust
Mhm.
you. And I know that there's a lot of ego in this industry. I think females working together can be incredibly hard, especially if there's ego. And I know, like, I have ego, you have ego. I had just recently witnessed like this big, huge disruption in a company. I won't go into the details, but it was like over conflict between personality. And I was just like, like, I don't want to like, metaphorically get in bed with this person and then have it backfire. And I have all these women that trust me. Like, this is a huge risk. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it. Like, I'm gonna do it because I felt like also like it was an opportunity with you that I felt like if I didn't take advantage of or seize, it was going to pass me by. And I knew it was risky. I knew I might regret it. I knew I didn't know you very well. And yet it has been honestly like the best working with you in this capacity has been. I mean, of course, this incredible friendship came out of it, but it has been like the most fulfilling. Honestly, you have become my rock and helped me through all my craziness. And so I'm so glad I took a chance on you. But I wanted to ask you, what's the hardest thing about, now be honest, just don't be mean. What's the hardest thing about working with me? And what's the easiest thing? What's the best and the worst part about working with me?
Um, the hardest thing is that you are extremely type A. You are like type A plus plus plus. Like you're whereas I would be like, sorry, your attention to details, like, no, it's not all right. It should be a capital D, but like you're very detail oriented where care so much. I'm like, nah, we'll be all right. Just in the way we practice, even the way we practice for filming. Like, I'm more of a like, you will put in reps every day. Like you are an absolute workhorse.
Mhm.
Me, we do the choreography, then we probably about 3 weeks out from filming. I sit down and I look at it, then I watch our video. Like I'm more like, if anything goes wrong, I got it. Like I'm more like just relax. I'm not, and you're like, no, we must be perfect. It must be. And I'm like, I'll be fine. Like, so you're super type A, which is a good thing. Somebody got to be, because I'm not. We wouldn't get nothing done if we were alike. So that's for sure. And that would be, I would say, that's the hardest thing. You're just type A and I'm not. And that's usually when we have conflict. Because I'm like, it's cool. You're like, it's not cool. I'm like, but it's cool. And you're like, it's not cool. Um, the best thing I think about working with you is that you are so, and I say this, you are so fucking smart, bro. Like you are so ahead of the curve. And part of the reason, so when we partnered, part of the reason that happened was I think I have two gifts, right? One, it's not seeing the future, but I can look at things and be like, that's the next thing. Or this is the next thing. I mean, it could be anything. Sneakers, clothes. I'm like, nope, this is the next thing. And when I met you and I watched Warrior Rhythm, I was like, oh, this gonna be that next thing. I said, this is it. Like, this is the next thing. And then I saw strength, and then we created combat. I saw like what you were doing with kids. Revolution was there, but it wasn't like a forefront brand yet because we met.
Because
So
of you.
you
You were the
push,
unexpected
yes,
pregnancy.
yes, we put Revolution to the side. But I think as a programmer and a creator, you are really brilliant. And a lot of people they can't program, and it's just, you have to be very creative to do it. You have to figure out how to make things work, and a lot of people do not have that gift. I don't care what nobody says. A lot of people just don't have that gift. Like, i see I see the programming out there, and I'm not one to want to be friends with people. I don't want to hang out. I don't want to be in no groups. I don't want to be in no clubs. Like,
You don't
I
want
just
to be
want
in
to
any group chats.
I don't like group chats. The Warrior girls know, do not include Diva in the group chat. But when when I saw what you were doing and how you were doing it, I'm like, that's the next thing. Like, because everybody's like, will there ever be another Les Mills? Or, Les Mills been on like 50 years now. Will there ever be
Yeah.
another Les? Like 50 years, like for real. Like another Les Mills, another Zumba, whatever, bigger brands. And the question is yes. And I personally believe, and I'll stand on business and say that you're it. Like, you're it. So one of the awesome things with working with you, and my favorite thing, is just being a part of your creative process, because my brain doesn't work that way. And I don't have that type of vision. But I mean, you're just talented. You're talented, dude. Can't nobody knock it. Like, I didn't know, first of all, let me just say this. I didn't know shit about Beachbody outside of, there was some videos, there was some infomercials. Like, I just recently processed, just in the last year, and that's just because of you. I was like, oh, that's Shalene. Got it. Like, none of this clicked for me. I didn't know like any of this, right? And then I didn't know like what you were doing inside of Beachbody and how involved you were in all those different brands. Cause I only knew like one or two of the brands at the time. Um, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Like, so you were like already in that space doing that stuff. And it's kind of cool, when whatever, because I don't know nothing about that, could care fucking less. But whenever things fell apart, for you to be able to, in that moment, say, I'm going to start something new, I'm going to start something now, that's huge. Like, and you did it in the pandemic. Like, that's huge.
Well,
Like, and people were scrambling. Like, that's huge. I didn't know you then. So now, knowing what I know about you and coming from that space you came from, being able to create not only a program but a community, that's like, bro, that's top tier, homie.
thank
That's
you.
top tier, homie. For real.
Well, I actually do believe that partnering with you, and PS to the audience, that really kind of stuff that she just said about me being brilliant and stuff like that, she actually tells me that all the time. Like, she tells me
Every
that.
day.
I hear that all the time.
Yeah, like every day.
Thank you again. Thank you again.
You're welcome. I'm gonna keep telling you. I
But
believe it.
it was interesting because Beachbody was like in some ways huge, like this huge, multi-billion dollar company. And yet, the more I see the fitness world and landscape outside of the Beachbody bubble goggles, I'm like, oh, it was tiny. Not everyone does know who Chauncey is. Like, for real. Like, there's this whole other, and I think a lot of the Beachbody people, no shade, Beachbody, I know I have a lot of Beachbody people that follow, no shade, but I really think people got very like insular and caught up in this short-sighted vision, and they thought Beachbody was end all be all and the biggest thing in fitness. And actually it was just a small piece. It's a small piece of so many, there's so much else out there. So my point is actually that partnering with you was one of the smartest and timeliest decisions I've ever made, because I wanted to establish my own identity. I wanted my programs to be very distinct and unique and different from what Beachbody had. I didn't want people to think like, oh, she was just a Beachbody girl and now she's like redoing their programs her way.
Right.
I wanted them to have like completely different and and like and I think I'm trying, let me just be careful and think if I want to say something unfiltered. I probably shouldn't. Filter. I think it set me apart from that I found you. And then it changed the way our coming together as a force together. And you didn't just come in as a co-creator. You came in and you've helped shepherd this incredible flock. You pour time into them, whether they're rhythm instructors or revolution instructors or strength instructors, and you take ownership in the whole company as a business partner of mine. And you don't want just success for combat. You want success for each of these instructors. You want success for me. You're part of all of it, not just combat. Like, to me, you're not just in this combat box, even though we'll talk about combat a little bit tonight, unless you fall asleep first. But
no, I'm hanging on.
I feel like when all of a sudden announcing you as the co-creator of combat, I really feel like it absolutely changed the way the world saw what I was doing. And I'm forever grateful for that. And I really think it was genius, because I could have just stayed in the Beachbody bubble, and I could have looked for people that I worked with and colleagues that I worked with in Beachbody. But I didn't want to. I wanted to break free. I wanted to be different. I wanted to be unique. You helped me achieve that. And anyway, I asked you about what your favorite things and least favorite. I'll tell you what my least favorite thing about working with you is you are type Z plus plus plus. It's so like we have gotten into I mean, there's always so much love. I hesitate to say we've gotten into any brawls, because there's so much love and respect that I've never ever felt like in the heat of things, when it got difficult, when it gets difficult or got difficult between you and I, as our personalities would clash.
Yeah.
I never felt like we would crumble ever. Never, ever.
Nah.
Ever. It's actually never even crossed my mind to even come out of my mouth until right now. I knew we would always navigate it, but there were times where we would be so heated and frustrated with each other that you'd be like, let's cool off.
Yeah.
Let's cool off.
When you know what it is, when your collaborations are hard. Like they're just hard, and we're not going to see eye to eye on a lot of things. We're just not. Like, if we did all the time, I don't know if it would be so magical.
Right.
You know, we're not going to see eye to eye, and it's, I'm a big believer in, before things get way out of hand, like, sometimes, we get into it and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just call you tomorrow, because we're about to go somewhere we don't need to go, and then we be on the phone crying, apologizing the next day. So let's before that. Yeah, it would be you. But before this escalates, let's do this. But I think that just to backtrack a little bit, when you were talking about breaking free of a certain bubble, like I told you, I didn't know nothing. I've been teaching group fitness for a bazillion years. I never did a pre-choreographed format in my life, just because, I never really had to. But once, and I saw stuff, but once I did, I was like, oh, this is dope. Like, okay, cool. But my fitness world was all bodybuilding. It was like bodybuilding and professional athletes. Like, that was my fitness experience. All my friends were bodybuilders, Mr. Olympias, like that was my fitness. That was my fitness. Going to the Mr. Olympia, going to the Arnold, going to bodybuilding shows, competing, CrossFitters, like those were my people. Like that's my space. So coming into it strictly from the group fitness side was like weird for me. I'm like, who are these weirdos? Who are these people?
I was gonna ask you, and then I'm gonna shift gears about
Okay.
a little bit about you and your backstory with boxing and stuff. But I was gonna ask to kind of like tie the loop on this part of the podcast. Do you have any advice for people that are entrepreneurs or solopreneurs about finding a partner to work with?
I've done most of my business ventures solo.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very leery about a partnership because you just don't know how it works out. It's you gotta really, it's like a marriage, right? And everybody's like, oh, but you can't think about the bad times. No, you have to think about the bad times. Like, if this gets bad, what does that mean for me? What does that mean for you? What does that mean for the company, the brand? So I've always been reluctant to do partnerships for that reason. And from the entrepreneurial perspective, if you're going to go into a partnership, I will tell you the one thing we did wrong is we ain't know each other, but we know each other now, and it worked. We got lucky. It worked out.
We got
It worked
lucky.
out.
Yeah.
It worked out, but it doesn't work out for people.
Yes.
It doesn't work out. And if you're going to do that, just have things in order. Like, we have things in order, things that I'm supposed to do, things you're supposed to do in reference to the company. I'm usually a little slower to do my things because I'm so laxed. And you're usually like, are you going to do this? I'm like, no, for real, I'm doing it today. But you gotta have you gotta have a script. You gotta have bylaws. You gotta have structure for a partnership to work, especially if you don't know the person. And sometimes knowing them is worse because there's too much familiarity. Did I say that right? I know I'm tired.
You did, yeah.
Did I say it right? Okay.
I agree. I feel like I would actually recommend people not do what we did and jump in blindly with another person that you don't know. Like, we are so lucky that it worked the way it did. But I would say what we did right is that we found someone that we each found someone that we thought was brilliant and had a lot to offer.
Yeah.
Nothing like us. And I think that was, I mean, we got lucky on the temperament side of things. And I want to say a little bit more about that in a second. But I also think the fact that our personality type is so different has been wonderful. I can't even stand myself. Like, I could not work with someone type A like me. In fact, I tend to find super type A people annoying, even though I am one. So I find myself annoying. But it's a function of anxiety. It's a function of fear and anxiety, but it works. It fuels me, and it keeps me sharp. So I'm grateful for it, even though it's kind of a blessing and a curse. But oh wait, I forgot to say that my least favorite thing about working with you is that you steal all my hoodies.
I do. Yo, I don't know why, bro. You got the best hoodies.
I don't know either.
Every time we did a conference, I would come home with another hoodie.
And then I would like see her in her stories, like wearing my hoodie, and I'd be like,
I think I stole this from you. I might have stole this from you. I got a bunch of stuff I stole from you.
This one. You're gonna steal this one when I see you.
No, that hoodie is tough. Yeah, you getting jacked for that one.
I know
that one's tough.
I know. Okay, I did have something else to say, but I forgot, but it'll come back to me. It had to do with I know what it had to do with. one of the fucking reasons this works is because it is the ego thing. Like, I do have ego. I do have ego, but I love seeing you in the limelight. Like, I love watching you shine.
Same.
I know. We mutually want the other to shine. There is not a jealous, competitive, and I'm competitive and I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Like, I struggle with both of those things. But in this relationship, it's just it's not like that. It's like, I saw this like reel. We send each other reels all the time, you know? And
yes, we do.
I saw this reel of like these two people on motorcycles, and they were like high-fiving and they were supporting each other. And I was just like, it was really cool. It was really touching. And I was like, that's both of us. Like, it meant I could have sent it to you from me. You could have sent it to me from you. But anyway, let's shift gears because I know you're going to fall asleep in 2 seconds. But let's talk I want to talk about combat a little bit, but more why well, first of all, we didn't talk about the fact that you also were a dancer, love to dance. And I think that's why you saw something special in Warrior Rhythm, because it is yoga dance. And I think you saw that there wasn't anything like that out there to the extent that Warrior Rhythm does yoga to music, to soul shaking music. There is nothing like it. And I think you recognized that. And I'm glad for that, because I think that's one way I earned your respect and caught your eye. But the other thing is, I want to talk about you and boxing. So a lot of what we talk about with Warrior Combat, well, just tell them a little bit about what combat is, if you don't mind, the 2 sections, like what it's for. Go.
So Warrior Combat is the best boxing format on the planet. All right, Warrior Combat, 2 sections, people. You listen to me, we got 2 sessions. First 30 minutes is done to the timer. The second 30 minutes is done to the beat. And I got to be honest with you. One of the things we wanted to do that was different was blend the authentic boxing style with, the cardio bunny part, right? So I am very animate that our form has to be on point. I'm like always on the girls riding them about this. Like, we want the form on point. We can have fun and still dance, but we gonna look like boxers. We're not gonna just be throwing wild punches, right? And the thing is, that part of the program, because I was a boxer and I still box. I don't compete anymore, but I still box. That part of the program, to me, is one of the things that separates it. We're not just throwing stuff to throw.
Mm-hmm.
We're not making up names for things. Like, I want them to know. So if they go somewhere else, and I always say this, when you go somewhere, and some of them they've like gone to take a boxing class and they're like, oh my God, Diva, you were right. I'm like, yeah, like, I'm teaching you how to slip and roll for real. We just not in here bobbing and dancing. Like, I want to dance too, but I want to make sure you come out with something authentic and real. The back half is cool because I think, regardless of what other people say, I think moving to music will never go anywhere. Yeah. It'll never go anywhere. It's literally the foundation of it's really the foundation of group fitness. And the direction of group fitness is a whole other story, but whatever. It's still part of the foundation of group fitness, and people enjoy that. There's something to be said when people are moving in sync and together that is almost, I don't want to say spiritual, but that's the only word that comes to mind right now, which is why Warrior Rhythm works so well. Because in regular yoga, because it's more about your individual breath, though there is a common energy, we're not all hitting Warrior One at the same time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, we kind of get in there when we kind of get there. But moving to the beat in the back half of combat is it's fire. And we picked music. Like, I was very big, like, I don't want no whack ass music. Like, I want some hard hitting dope stuff. Like I want metal. I don't want no damn kids bop. I don't want none of that. I want good music, and I want the music to be intentional. So it's cool because we sort of have similar musical tastes, but not.
Yeah.
But when it can, we do, but we don't. But when it comes together, it's amazing because the music makes you want to kick and punch. Like the music makes you want to jump rope, or the music makes you want to slip or bob or weave, whatever. Like the music tells you what to do. And for our instructors, which is really cool, that's like a big thing. I say that to them a lot on film. I'm like, the music is going to tell you what the music tells you what to do. It really does. So combat became this thing of like, for me, because when we created it, I was going through a really rough patch, which I ain't getting into tonight, but I was going through a really rough patch. So it really was about
Which I didn't
overcoming
know. I
adversity.
didn't
No,
know.
oh yeah, you had no clue. Why? Because you don't need to be telling all your business out in the street. So if you out in these streets telling your business, stop. Keep it to yourself. Um, but when we were creating combat, like I was going through a rough patch. So for me in the creation process, it really was about overcoming adversity every day. Even boxing. When I started boxing at 24 or 23 years old, it was about I was going through something and how do I overcome this? I'm gonna use boxing to help me overcome this so I don't go do anything stupid. And so in the classroom, what that translates to for like the our trainers and the students is simply this. It puts you in a place where it's always going to be you versus you. We don't care how you get to your results. We're going to guide you there. And whatever you're going through, you put that in the room. And as far as women goes, because most of group fitness is women, it is very empowering to learn how to punch and kick. I always encourage women to learn how to punch and kick. It's empowering. Until you've done it, you'll never understand. So when we talk about combat, it was about creating this fun, authentic experience with this like kick-ass music, like you're in a nightclub, but you're boxing and you're with your homegirls.
Yeah.
That's what we created. And I never thought I could create anything like that. It never crossed my mind in a million years. But we did. We did. And every day I look at it, I was like, damn, this is dope.
I know.
Like, this is tough.
I
This
know.
is tough.
And teach different, like when I go back and teach the older lessons, I'm like, wow, just wow.
Hmm.
Look at what came out of this. And we didn't know. So it is unique. It is a different shadow boxing style format because we have these boxing combinations that are authentic that Diva creates. By the way, it's fine if people have no boxing experience.
Exactly.
Part of our job as instructors, master trainers, and it trickles down to the students is to teach those great mechanics so that they start looking over the weeks, over the months, more and more and more authentic. And we start with these boxing combinations, and then we go after a song and it's very cerebral. You're very much in your head trying to remember like jab, cross, lead hook, rear knee, like this combination of 4, 5, 6 moves. And then in the next song or section, we don't have to think as much. And we go into these conditioning drills that are designed to jack the heart rate up. And they might have a box flavor, like a shuffle with an uppercut or jacks with elbows, like a boxing, like sprinkle to it. But it's basic conditioning that is designed to bring us into an anaerobic state. So it's very volatile, like peaks and valleys. It's not like steady state
right
style. And then finally, the third section is a core section where we lift. So we actually pick up dumbbells. So those sections repeat and repeat and repeat. Again, some of them at the beginning of class are set to a timer where you're like learning how to do the moves. And in the back half, we put it together to music, but they already now know them. So it's just very unique. But like to your point, it is more than just about, well, I should say it is the hardest workout I do. So I teach it Thursday nights at the club. I teach it Friday mornings from my home, and I'm always like, I gotta go teach your format. And I say it like in jest, I kind of say it like, I've got to go teach
your format.
Because
yes, you do.
To me, it's the hardest workout I do. That's very individual. Someone could take Warrior Revolution and absolutely say that's the hardest one of our formats. Like it just depends on your background and where you're skilled and how your body has been conditioned. Someone could take rhythm, like Diva probably thinks rhythm is our hardest format.
Hardest thing I've ever done.
But so it's just super hard, but it's not about at its core, at the heart of what we tried to create for this world is not just about some ass-kicking workout. It is truly about empowering the student to feel resilient, because we know that our students, just like us, we know that life is hard knocks. And we know that in a classroom, to varying degrees, every single human being is going through some hard knocks. And if they're not, they're going to. Or if they're not, and so it's more about, to use your word, spiritual. It's more about getting into this flow state and this sense of I can do this. And so that they leave the room feeling better equipped emotionally, psychologically, and physically to handle life. And I'm so proud of it. And I'm so grateful for you and everything.
Me too. It's dope. Combat is dope.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about combat or your boxing, like how you got into boxing or why? Or do you want to just dive into a confession, which I better have one?
Oh, I was supposed to do that. Well, let me talk about boxing first so I could think about
She's not prepared, guys. She's not prepared. She's not prepared.
Not at all.
Typical.
I'm gonna make it up when I get there. I started boxing at 25 years old because I was looking for something else to do, like another physical challenge. I was boxing while I was still in college. Lies. I probably was boxing when I was like 20 or 21. Yes, because I was living. So I started training at the legendary Front Street Gym in Philadelphia. And the thing that really got me into boxing, true story, I went to a fight to see Jackie Frazier, and Jackie Frazier is Joe Frazier's daughter. And I was watching her fight. And Jackie, if you ever hear this, I promise I wasn't being disrespectful, but I watched her fight and I was like, me. I was like, I could do that. Like that literally was, I was like, nothing about this is impressive. I could do that. It really was. I was like, I could do that. And I always wanted to fight. Like, not necessarily. I enjoy fighting. When I was younger, my mom had us all in karate. Like, I like fighting. I like combat sports. So I started boxing. I just never stopped. I'm 47. I definitely started. I thought it was 25, but it's not. I must have been like 23. And I've never stopped. I enjoy it. I enjoy teaching it. I enjoy teaching a million variations of it.
Have you ever been in a fight in your real life?
All the time. Yeah, I've been in a fight. I got some crazy stories. About being in fights. But I don't want to scare your audience today.
Yeah, I want them to like you. So maybe stop right there.
Yeah. All right. I won't tell them the stories about the fights in West Philly.
So
I never started them. No, I'm a peacemaker.
Okay. Do you want to have a confession or not?
Don't be talking to me like that. Who are you talking to?
Sorry. Well, I have a confession, but I normally don't want to have a guest. The guest has a confession, but I have one too. So if you need more time to think, I'm going to do one.
All right. Do your confession.
Or do you want to go first?
You go first, bro.
Are you sure? Because I don't want my confession to influence the direction you go with your confession.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Just do it. I'm an individual.
Okay. My confession is that I mean, I already said how much respect I have for you. You already know that. Our audience probably already knows that too. But that whole type Z thing about you and the way you are, I mean, it's painful to get this confession out of my mouth. I'm like, it's painful to get it out. But I think you're better than me. I think you're a better instructor.
No
Yes.
way, bro.
Good.
Nope.
I've been teaching,
Nope.
as you know, I've been teaching for half of my life almost,
I
almost.
know.
So,
My
here's the
gosh.
thing about you, and it's made me better, and it has to do with that type A, type Z thing. Because of course, there's benefits and strengths to whatever personality type anyone has. They're all personality types are beautiful, and they all have their good and their bad things. But I have
Yeah.
seen the way the type A piece of me is great. It means I show up so prepared and so rehearsed. I know my shit like the back of my
You
hand.
do. You
And
always do.
and I
You
am
always
ready.
do.
And in case my PowerPoint fails, I've got a backup, like, But there's something about the way you show up. And I don't want to say unprepared, but I'm gonna say unprepared. There's a
No,
certain
it,
way
it, it's totally unprepared.
you
I'm not
show
upset.
up in a way that allows you to read and see who's in the room, feel their energy, and in a moment, in a split second, decide the best and most perfect way to come at that group. And I've seen you do it. I've seen you decide to pull people in a huddle as we're starting a session. I've seen you
Yeah.
stop and from the stage tell a story. I've seen you approach the same session so many different unique ways because there's something about the type Z thing that is so in the moment, and it's been a huge inspiration and helped me grow as a presenter because I've adopted some of that. I've been inspired
Mm.
I've been inspired by watching you and been and started to be like, okay, I'm gonna do this different. I'm gonna do this session different. And I feel like it's made for some better sessions and helped me grow as a presenter. Okay, that's my confession.
That's your confession.
Yeah.
Well, first I'm gonna say at some point I am gonna be fabulous and really know my choreography.
Good. Like, will that be in 2026?
Yeah, yeah, it's not gonna be this year. Next year I'll be real good. My confession is, oh, I don't know if it's really a confession, but so my degree is in dance and choreography from Temple University. And fitness was an accident. Like fitness was 100% an accident. I did not plan on this being my life. Now I know a lot of instructors are like part-time fitness people, which makes sense. You know, it's a weird space to be in unless you're in an administrative capacity. And as crazy as it is, I have legit been a full-time fitness professional for 25 years. Like
That's
it's
good.
kind of mind blowing. Like I've had good years, and don't get me wrong, I've had some bad years,
Mhm.
but I've been a full-time fitness professional for 25 years, and that's just a combination of personal training, classes, and whatever have you. But um, I guess my biggest confession is I thought I was going to be on Broadway. I was auditioning for Broadway coming out of college. I can't even tell you how many shows I auditioned for. And if you know anything about auditioning in Broadway, it's a process. So I was like just getting in. I was like just getting in, and I realized that it would be a lot harder than I thought. Like I would have probably had to audition for another year or two. Like all my friends, true story, all my friends are on Broadway or have done Broadway or movies or film or television, but it was a process. They also auditioned for like 4 years before getting their first break. Like my friend, if you're a Hamilton fan, you'll appreciate this. Like my friend Leslie Odom Jr., we trained together, went to the same dance schools, like all that happened. He just kept auditioning.
Mhm.
Like he did Rent, and then Hamilton was like his breakout. I mean, everybody knew him from Rent too, but Hamilton was like his breakout. That was the thing that like catapulted him to stardom. And so I say all that to say, like, you just really don't know where life is going to take you. You don't. And I still don't know. Half the time I wake up, I'm like, where are we going? What are we doing? I still don't know. But I'm here to tell you, a lot of people don't like this. I mean, you can have a plan, but just be ready to float. Just be ready to like ride the waves a little bit. You can control what you can, but you gotta just be ready to ride the waves, wherever it takes you.
That's good. I have another confession you could have given.
How you want to tell me what the confessions is? This.
This is
Yo, people listening, people listening. I just want y'all to know this is my life every day. I say something. No, no, let me back up. She say something, then I say something, and then she tells me what I should have said.
no, I liked the confession. That was great.
No, what you about to say? I think I know what you about to say.
I wasn't being critical of your confession. It was
No, I know you weren't being critical, but
I was just thinking of a confession of yours. Can I pretend? I'll pretend. A confession of yours is you hosted a community class and involved a dog shelter and ended up leaving with Pancake.
that is a confession. That's how he sleep right now. His
No,
crate is open, but he sleep. He ready to go bed. It's our bedtime.
I know.
Yes, but that is a good confession. I
Yeah,
thought you were going to talk about my mom being a preacher. That's what I thought you
I
was going to
was going to
say.
talk about that earlier, but I'm trying to keep
Uh,
things on. I'm trying to keep things rolling. But
all
yeah, that
right,
was good advice. Yeah, that
cool.
and then just another little ooh, you said another good nugget tonight, and that's like keep your
M-
stuff to yourself. Like don't share your dirty laundry with people. That was a good nugget. Another good nugget
Bruh,
from this conversation is partner with people. I'm
you
better.
should.
I'm better because I partner with someone. Don't do it like we did. We got lucky.
No, we did get lucky.
Don't do it like we did
Did.
in terms of like the immediacy of it, but do it like
Yeah,
we did in terms of the finding someone whose gifts are wildly unlike yours. Like
yeah.
we
But
did that.
compliments you. And I
Yeah,
think that's what it is. Even though we're different, I think we complement each other. So it works.
yeah, it was a power move. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening. Diva, thank you for staying up late for us, and I'll see you in a few days. Are you excited?
I know. You got a big day coming up.
I do.
You got a big day coming up.
We're gonna do a training together. We're gonna celebrate
Yes.
my birthday.
Yes.
And you really just want to see my dog?
I do want to see your dog. I want to see Chicklet. Chicklet.
No, shh. I finally got him to go to sleep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Chicklet. False alarm. Don't wake up, Chicklet.
Gosh. Okay.
All
Everybody,
right.
thank you so much for listening. Oh, follow Diva at she has I don't know. Diva Richards.
Oh, look, I got the balloons going
Um,
up.
it's Diva Richards is your primary
Mhm.
page. That's also related to your Diva Richards Show podcast.
Yes.
And then there's also your fitness account, which is, I don't know.
Diva Richards Fitness.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't
Yeah.
sure.
I know I changed it again. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Diva Richards Fitness. I'm going to put these in the, well, you know what? If you just follow me, she's like on my page, like every other tile. So, okay. What else? What else do you have any virtual challenges? Do you have anything you want to talk about? Do you have any virtual, are you doing anything like that?
No, I'm not doing anything right now. I'm focusing and I'm training. I'm training virtually and I'm training in person. And if you want to join my Facebook community, feel free. It's called Total Body Beatdown. Just send a message. We like, I heard you on Confessions of a Group X Instructor, and we will let you in the group. We will let you in. I don't just let everybody in, but if you say you listen to the podcast, you family, I'll let you in.
It's a good group that listens. Okay, I love you.
Love you too, Mama.
I know. And thank you everybody for listening, and we'll see you next week.
You got it.
Bye.
Thank you for joining in on the Confessions of a Group X Instructor podcast. If you're interested in becoming a warrior instructor, go to warriorinstructors.com. But if you want more and found this episode amazing, please give us a rating. And with a simple click to subscribe, we'll invite you back to our next episode. So remember, be brave, be bold, be blessed. And above all, listen, learn, love.